Oh my god.
So, Pine, you paid money for that.
I paid 55 cents for that movie. Yeah.
You're an inspiration to us all.
That was a waste of money.
I lost all morale to live.
It was pretty spectacular. Halfway through the movie, he started to try and choke on his own vomit.
Choked on vomit.
It was actually someone else's vomit. It's not
Exactly.
There's no real.
Well, they can't prove whose vomit it was. They don't have facilities in Scotland Yard to print
really dust for vomit.
I shot myself with a dart gun.
It didn't work.
It didn't work.
So, I guess we'll just start from the beginning. The first thing you see when you put in the DVD is a little quote pops up that says, "The alternative entertainment for what the world wants to see." And the first thing I thought of was, what world wants to see that movie?
It's the alternative for what people want to see.
Oh, there we go. It's the alternative entertainment to what people want to see. Okay, so it's the alternative to what people actually want to see. So
it makes sense, because people don't want to see this movie.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any kind of sense. And then, after you get the alternative entertainment, we roll to the title screen, and you get the most generic thing of a little kid with a sickle, and it's scary because it's a little kid holding a sickle.
I would like to point out that if there was a country called Suptopia, this movie would be its primary export.
I would agree with that statement. It's accurate.
Not along with Sucker Punch.
He doesn't like the movie Sucker Punch.
So I guess we'll start with the plot synopsis. We actually have an expert in studio. Pine wrote the Wikipedia entry for
Shockingly, there was no Wikipedia plot summary entry for this movie. Shockingly, I couldn't believe it.
So we felt the need to, Pine felt the need to create one.
Wait. If there was no Wikipedia movie...
Oh, there was. But there was no plot. It was
But
empty.
if there was no synopsis, it theoretically makes sense that we are the only 3 people in the world to have ever watched this movie.
I don't think even the people who are in this movie watched this movie.
I wouldn't watch this movie.
And
I'd be ashamed if I was in that movie.
I mean, like, Michael Ironside's in 3 scenes. Do you
Yes,
think
yeah.
he watched
My main
the
question
other
about this movie is, why is Michael Ironside in this movie?
You know, it reminds me of Michael Caine was in Jaws 4.
Michael Caine was in Jaws 4.
He missed receiving an Oscar to reshoot the ending of Jaws 4.
Jaws 4 is the worst movie ever made.
Yeah,
fact.
And it's got the most racist accent since Birth of a Nation.
We're heading straight for it.
But Michael Caine has said that he's never seen Jaws 4.
Good for him. So, I own that movie. I'm very sad that I own that movie.
He's very sad he owns a lot of things.
I own Children of the Corn 7 as well, and I'm very sad.
So the movie opens with some sort of old lady having her Oscar moment. And
she's dreaming.
I feel like they're using the same sound effect for every grunt she has in this nightmare. It's just the same. What it sounds like. It sounds like a dying.
So now you're asking why we didn't turn off the movie there.
I don't know. Frankly, I was fascinated. It was fascinating.
Not in a good way.
There's a great scene in the beginning of the movie where she's in her grandmother's room, and first of all, the grandmother's door has a 30-day eviction notice on it.
Right, she's wondering where her grandma went.
And I can't speak for everybody, because like the main character in this movie, my grandmothers are dead.
I've already been to the hospitals. She's not there. Something's wrong.
So I haven't seen them in the last 30 days, and I can't really name a lot of people who have seen their grandmothers in the last 30 days. So maybe she just fucking moved.
Start out, the grandma goes missing.
Before she goes missing, she runs out of her room screaming, "Where are you?" And nobody lives or works in that apartment building other than her for the first half hour of the movie.
And then all of a sudden, a bunch of people.
Then all of a sudden, there are a bunch of people who have apparently always lived here.
Including a lesbian.
But there's like, if there's even a single staff member at that apartment complex, they're the worst fucking staff member that there's ever been.
Yeah,
the one that is high all the time.
He's a stoner.
I mean, like, if there's a shopping cart in your apartment lobby, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, she walks in. There's literally like nobody there except these two really creepy kids.
Shopping cart. There's cobwebs, and I thought
abandoned.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought her was condemned. Like I thought there was nobody there.
Half an hour later, you discover there's like 4 other people who live in the building, and they're just normal people.
Listing their names off in chronological order. There's Tiffany.
I'm Tiffany.
There's Cranky Old Man. And then there's the Stoner.
You, Jerry?
Then there's the best character besides Tiffany the lesbian, Rambo. Rambo is in this movie.
His name's Stan. His name's Rambo. He's a really bad Rambo.
Stanbo.
He doesn't wear a shirt.
Yeah, I thought he was Taylor Lautner because he wasn't wearing a shirt the entire movie.
Do you know what the greatest part about this is? All 4 of them died predictably.
Yorick.
Yeah, he called it.
Well, the best part about this movie was each of the 4 characters has one scene where they set up their character, and then they have their death scene. So every single character in this movie appears for 2 scenes, except for the main character, the children,
and Dr. Ass Blaster.
And Detective Armwrister.
I'm Detective Armwrister.
There's so many arms in this movie. Armwrister.
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 He's a detective. He's a detective.
He's Detective Armwrister.
I'm Detective Armwrister.
And his
something like that.
You can tell he's a detective because he tells you he's a detective.
He works in a police station.
Displays about
intelligence,
actual detective like prowess.
And yet he's smarter than the rest of the characters,
which isn't saying much.
I don't know.
Okay.
Tiffany has a good
There's
job.
also 2 other characters. There's the shopkeeper
who dies,
who has one scene and then dies.
Don't know. They don't say nothing. They don't buy nothing.
And then there's the priest,
Michael
Ironside. He's in 3 scenes. The first
Michael Ironside has 3rd billing in this movie.
He's got 3 scenes, 2 of which no dialogue. He just stands there and looks creepy. And then 3rd one, he explains the plot of the movie if you don't understand it at that point. And then he leaves.
Likely.
And it plays no part in the final battle.
So going back to just listing of the cast. So we've got Michael Ironside, who's 3rd cast list. You actually recognized 2 other actors.
Yes, I did. The protagonist of this movie, I actually recognized her from the show Harper's Island. Where she,
died.
She died
as well.
On that show.
Okay.
Except she didn't die in this movie. Spoiler alert.
No one fucking cares about choking unicorns.
Yeah, you don't really care. And then, the stripper girl, Tiffany.
What the hell are you doing in here?
She is starred in such fine films as Final Destination 3 and Wrong Turn to Dead End, which is actually a good movie.
So the kids are alright because she's a lesbian.
What's that look you're giving me?